YoungHoon Kim is a South Korean scientist who claims to hold the world's highest IQ score of 276. This guy seemingly came out of nowhere and blew up on X overnight, mostly after posting about Trump, US politics, and Jesus. He starts every post with, "From the world's highest IQ record holder." Despite this, most information about YoungHoon Kim's IQ come from his own website or derivative articles with very little primary evidence to back up his claims. We will also see that saying you have an IQ of 276 is statistically meaningless and doesn't even make sense scientifically. In response to these accusations, YoungHoon Kim has not been transparent, often locking his replies or posting extremely bizarre responses about how not believing his IQ claims is blasphemy against God. YoungHoon Kim is very culty, often taking his responses straight out of the cult leader playbook. Despite this, YoungHoon Kim has also been widely celebrated by Christian apologists for tweeting about Jesus.
Well, sorry to disappoint you, atheists, but here's another win for us religious nutjobs. Turns out the world's highest IQ genius just looked at militant atheism and said, nah, I'll take Jesus. And he says Christianity is not just plausible, it's essential. His name is Dr. YoungHoon Kim, and his IQ is 276. Yes, you heard that right.
He has also stated that Donald Trump is the only president chosen by God. And you know, Christianity itself isn't in the scope of this video. If you didn't know, I live in the Balkans and I'm actually posting this video from the Church of Saint Sava. This video is straight up blessed. This isn't going to be content cop Jesus.
That's cause Jesus Christ is my nigga.
Instead, we are going to be assessing YoungHoon Kim's IQ claims and seeing if he is a Giga Chad genius or really a big Dumbo. YoungHoon Kim is a Korean scientist who claims to be the most intelligent man alive. Here is YoungHoon Kim signing a post to his mom with highest IQ record holder rather than his name. Like, just asserting your IQ into a post about your mom just cracks me up. In addition, YoungHoon Kim really found success online when he began posting Christian conservative stances on X, like stating that abortion is murder. This has led to YoungHoon Kim becoming very popular on the right and amongst apologists. YoungHoon Kim is also in the business of making prophecies, claiming that Jesus will be returning in our generation.
I am the world's highest IQ record holder, YoungHoon Kim. I say this not just with human logic, but with divine revelation. Jesus Christ will return in our generation. This is a truth revealed to me by God the Father and the Holy Spirit. I have received grace not only through faith, but through the gift of the world's highest IQ score and record.
When it comes to Jesus' return, many Christians will cite the Matthew verse, but about that day or hour no one knows, not even the angels in heaven nor the Son, but only the Father. However, did you know that YoungHoon Kim has an IQ of 276? Have you ever considered that? But furthermore, YoungHoon Kim says that he isn't a prophet, but that he has received prophetic grace. And here I think it should start to become apparent that YoungHoon Kim is very delusional and narcissistic. It's like he is trying to construct a persona of exclusive access to God or divine truth as a way to establish authority and control. This is concerning because this is a very common tactic for cult leaders. One of the most controversial X posts from YoungHoon Kim was concerning abortion, in which he stated that if you are pro-choice, you aren't Christian. In the replies, you can see many Christians would agree with YoungHoon Kim's statement, but you can also see Christians stating that disagreeing on political issues doesn't exclude you from the faith, and bragging about your IQ constantly also seems very un-Christian. When you try to look into YoungHoon Kim's claims about his own intelligence, it is hard to find primary sources that aren't just YoungHoon Kim saying so. There are a lot of highly derivative articles published after YoungHoon Kim blew up on X, just repeating his own claims, but it's hard to find any solid evidence. Now, YoungHoon Kim claims honorary doctorates and professorships from institutions like American Management University or City University of Paris. These are unaccredited institutions not recognized by academic bodies like the HEDD Often the unaccredited universities serve as degree mills where there are low examination or learning assessment standards, and people can basically pay money to have a piece of paper with master's or PhD written on it that matches their self-assessment of their own abilities. But in addition, Kim claims recognition from organizations like the World Mind Sports Council and the World Memory Championships.
Let's first start with his credentials, okay? Because this guy, again, he is no lightweight when it comes to his intelligence. Here you have another one. Certificate of recognition is hereby granted to YoungHoon Kim, is recognized as the person with the highest IQ 276 score in the world from the World Memory Championships, World Memory Sports Council. This is pretty awesome. Certificate of title. This is to certify that Dr. YoungHoon Kim is hereby awarded this certificate of title in recognition of the world's highest IQ confirmed by World Memory Championships and World Memory Sports. On and on and on. He's got all these things written out, but
these organizations focus on memory sports, not IQ testing, which is typically handled by psychological bodies using standardized tests, so they aren't relevant authorities on IQ. Now, YoungHoon Kim has also claimed to be recognized by official world records, so you might think, oh, a Guinness World Record holder, you say? Well, no, it's official world records. It's a different organization and is considered much less reputable than Guinness when it comes to IQ measuring. And YoungHoon Kim often posts about being associated with Guinness Book of World Records in loose language that might make you think he is a Guinness World Record holder. But Guinness World Records stopped recognizing IQ records in 1989. YoungHoon Kim also claims to be head of the Giga Society. As you would expect, this is like a Galaxy brand club for people who hold an IQ over 190. Apparently there are only 9 members the world over. If you visit the website linked by YoungHoon Kim, you will realize it was created in 2022. This is despite Giga Society having existed since 2009. A little bit of digging shows that YoungHoon Kim's site is one that he created, and there is yet another website belonging to Giga Society from its inception in 2009. What's more, this older site mentions that there are many frauds using the organization's name. Warning, it has been known to occur that internet-based groups started by imposters made unauthorized use of the name Giga Society or some variant or misspelling thereof. Such groups are not affiliated with the Giga Society, and membership in them under no circumstances entitles one to call oneself a member of the Giga Society. Contact the Society's psychomeditor to verify whether any particular group is bona fide or whether any particular individual who claims to be a member of the Giga Society is indeed that. So it seems that there are 2 different Giga Societies, one created by YoungHoon Kim and a much older one sharing the same name, and there is also very little information on any of the members of this society. This sounds incriminating, but in a weird way, it doesn't really matter because experts will tell you that a society for people with IQs above 190 is bullshit, let alone the whopping 276 that YoungHoon Kim claims. There are many reasons why this is nonsense, but I just want to focus on one. We are complete number cells here at TDT, and so let's have Chud briefly explain why scoring an IQ of 276 is nonsense. Basically, IQ is distributed along a bell curve like this, the average being 100 in the middle. When you start getting higher than 160, which is 4 standard deviations higher than the average, the data becomes so sparse that scoring there is meaningless. So why is this the case? I'm going to have Jordan Peterson explain this next part. You know, this is what all the Patreon money goes to. It goes to getting the highest IQ celebrities. In the last video, we had Jason Statham. Now we got Jordan Peterson. So shout out to the Patreon subscribers for funding this. Well, IQ is measured relative to the population. Using a normal distribution, IQ is not an absolute measurement like height or weight. It's a relative ranking tool derived from how well someone performs on a set of cognitive tasks compared to the norm. The further you are from the norm, the less precise the measurement becomes. It ain't easy being green. Here's 12 rules for life. 1. Take out a loan to keep gambling. A 160 IQ is already over 4 standard deviations from the mean. That is only 1 in 30,000 people. An IQ of 276 would be almost 12 standard deviations from the mean. That corresponds to a probability of about 1 in 10 to the power of 31. That is 1 in 10 non-nillion. A non-nillion is a number so astronomically large, it exceeds the total number of humans who have ever lived. By saying he has an IQ of 276, YoungHoon Kim is saying he is smarter than 10 non-nillion people and everybody who has ever existed. Which is just a straight up silly statement. Saying you have an IQ of 276 is like saying your IQ is blue or red. It just means nothing. Also, I thought it was funny that YoungHoon Kim stated that Jesus had the highest IQ in human history. If Kim has an IQ of 276, which means he is smarter than everyone who has ever existed, then the existence of just one person with a higher IQ than him actually invalidates his claim. So him saying that Jesus had a higher IQ actually logically contradicts his IQ of 276. Okay, that's enough maths for one video. That's enough maths for my entire f***ing channel. Maths. I did think, though, that saying Christianity is the smartest religion went hard.
My advice to young men for a long time now has been that instead of making videos about YoungHoon, you should be out there getting some YoungHoon. I've been thinking about this a lot.
So this raises the question, how the fuck did YoungHoon Kim even do a test that could reliably give him an IQ score that high? Well, YoungHoon Kim asserts that his IQ score is verified by several organizations, including World Mind Sports Council and the World Memory Championships. As we mentioned earlier, these are not relevant authorities when it comes to IQ. It also turns out many of these galaxy brain, high IQ, the face went to intelligent societies actually have their own proprietary tests that aren't accepted by the wider academic community. The Mega Society, which YoungHoon Kim claims to be a member of, has this article on their website explaining that they use a special mega test. The first paragraph reads, "In 1982, American philosopher Ronald Holfen, who claims to have an IQ of 164 or 125 to 175, depending on which cognitive abilities they're tapping into, or 190 on a good day." So the first thing you notice is that this website's just full of spelling mistakes. And they also just use a lot of bizarre language, like on a good day, or depending what cognitive abilities they're tapping into, and it's just very unscientific language and not really what you would expect in something like an academic article. The site also mentions that this is the test that Chris Langan took in order to confirm his record-breaking IQ. This is when Chris Langan is basically a known fraud at this point. But nonetheless, YoungHoon Kim cites many different societies, which appears to create an impressive resume. However, many of these societies, like the United States Sigma Intelligence Association, which he founded, by the way, appear to just be very interconnected to him and lack independent verification. A Reddit user named Upset Apartment 1959 found that if you look at all the high IQ societies that YoungHoon Kim is affiliated with, they are all connected to the same people, having overlapping founders and members, appearing more like a coordinated cabal rather than being based on independent IQ scores. Upset Apartment said the following, quote, "World Guinness Book of Records discontinued IQ recognitions in 1989 because the last person tricked them, but still got publicity and worldwide fame from it. The last legit IQ recognized by them was 197, achieved by Christopher Harding. Interestingly, 1989 was when Brain Trust UK was founded by Tony Buzan, which is the founding body of Giga Society, the high IQ society website that puts Kim's IQ at the very top. Tony Buzan passed away a few years ago, but guess who was his spiritual successor and mentor? Yup, Kim. Kim took over the reins, as it appears, according to Namu Wiki. Giga Society has only 9 members in the world, Kim at the very top, and a majority of them are familiar names in other high IQ societies, one of which, Marios, says in an interview his IQ is 150 to 170. Actual geniuses like Terence Tao are not members but mentioned in separate top 10 lists that have no affiliation with Giga Society except one name, Kim. Kim, conveniently, appears on both the top 9 member list and top 10 IQ list. According to articles, many of which are paid publications like US Weekly, Reader's Digest, the 276 IQ was recognized by the World Mind Sports Council and World Memory Championships, both of which were founded or heavily associated with Tony Buzan. Of course, Kim appears on the council of both of these organizations, the very ones that accredited his 276 IQ. The official world record is also claimed by Kim. It appears it is a nice catch of a web address, officialworldrecord.com, owned by a company in Spain, but has spelling errors and asked for a $275 expedite fee for you to register your record quicker. Giga Society claims that it is the only world record body accredited by the Council of Notariates of the European Union. Sounds legit, but then again makes you wonder if they just accredit anyone willing to pay. The question remains, which test did he take to get to 276? My suspicion is one administered by Giga Society themselves. What's amusing is that once a test is used to admit a member to Giga Society, it may not be used again for the admission of any other members. So basically, no one may replicate your score or know how it compares, even if they could, since no test is the same. Remember, Kim is also on this 15-member committee. Yes, you heard that right. He is a part of the committee and part of the elite 9-member group. End quote. This suggests that all of these high IQ societies are connected, and that being associated with Tony Buzan probably played a role in YoungHoon Kim's recognition by these different groups. Given all of this, many people have questions for YoungHoon Kim. However, YoungHoon Kim often locks his replies on X and basically avoids responding to criticism. Recently, YoungHoon Kim made a post concerning the fact that, according to Grok, he is a fraud. Quote, "In 24 hours, Grok spread more lies about me than any human ever could. Over 90% of its sources came from Reddit. It rejects truth, spreads evil, and defies Christ. The Bible says all lies will burn. Jesus is the truth. Grok commits spiritual murder." End quote. This delusional and narcissistic response is becoming of a wannabe cult leader. Amongst cults, it is common for dissent to be reframed as spiritual blindness. This makes followers not trust their own judgment and fear doubting the leader. In this case, if Grok is spreading false information about YoungHoon Kim, it is unclear how that is relevant to defying God, unless of course YoungHoon Kim thinks he is God, which to be honest, I think is likely. He has also tweeted the truth spreads through Joe Rogan, so maybe he thinks Joe Rogan is God too. What's more, in this post, Kim doesn't address the fact that his alleged IQ is statistically impossible or any of the most damning pieces of evidence that he is indeed a fraud. YoungHoon Kim isn't the first person to dubiously claim to be the smartest person in the world, to then go on and promote a specific ideology online. It's also obvious why such a move would be successful as far as gaining fame and attention. It makes people who don't think critically feel more secure in their beliefs. If someone really smart agrees with me, then I don't have to worry about having good reasons for my beliefs. I can feel safe. And to be honest, I think YoungHoon Kim is a new low for the people who have enthusiastically shared his story. YoungHoon Kim's claims don't make sense given the most elementary understanding of IQ testing. And so people who bring up YoungHoon Kim as evidence of anything are really just showing evidence that they have a very low IQ. I have been TDT. Hope you enjoyed the video. Catch you guys on the flip side. Wow.